Welcome to It's Giving Sus, the podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. Every episode, we dive deep into the world of true crime and scandals, bringing you the most suspicious and jaw-dropping stories from around the world. There's so much crazy stuff going on, and we need to talk about all of it. Bizarre happenings, scams, cults, crimes, or controversial figures, we're here to dissect it all. Nothing is off limits. Join us as we unpack and comprehend this episode's story. And remember, if it's giving sus, stay curious and stay skeptical.
Warning. This episode contains discussion of extremely sensitive topics. Please check the show notes for more details before proceeding. We ask that you please take caution when listening. If you or someone you know is in need of resources, please check the episode notes for more information. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Giving Sus, the podcast where the line between the intriguing and the unsettling is blurred. I am your host, Danny Era, alongside of Miss
Meg West.
We made it, and we're so committed to doing an episode every Monday. Like, whoever's listening, you have no idea what happened over the weekend, but we were both in the hospital, essentially, for two different things, like freak things. We're totally fine. We're healing.
Yes.
But, like, what the F?
I mean, I don't know how fine I am, but
we're
eventually.
It's so sus.
Eventually we'll
but,
get
like,
there.
We're okay, right? We're fine.
I'm alive.
Overall, we're fine. But, like, how did that happen? And we're still here, ready, makeup a little bit. Filming an episode. I'm excited about this one, though. So I think that's also, like, motivating me. I've been looking forward to talking about this. And just, yeah, our dedication to literally every Monday. This is week 18. The dedication is real. So I'm commending us. I am proud of us for doing anything consistently for 18 weeks. It's actually crazy.
I know, especially for me. I feel like I don't stay with something though.
I know, me either.
Like,
I get a new hobby every 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a carpenter now.
I love that for you.
Remember I was a balloon artist?
Carpenter Danny.
Do you remember I was a balloon artist? I wanted to build balloon structures. By the time it's like season 5, the whole wall is going to be rhinestone in here. It's going to be great. So let's get into today's story. It's short. It's not sweet. And it's definitely sus.
Yeah.
This one had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I always feel like when I watch something really good is when I fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that too? When you're like really into something and you like fall asleep and it's like the best sleep of your life. Yeah. Why is that? Are we okay?
I don't think so.
That's not like a normal thing. So I tried to watch this multiple times, and this is new on Netflix. Just came out. I get so excited anytime I see something new in the true crime space, especially if it's a true story.
Yes.
I still like my fiction, but when there's a new documentary, I am like, it's Christmas for me.
Mm-hmm.
I watch the thing that it says like upcoming and I'm like, oh my God, we got to watch it. That's how we were with Quiet on Set. That's how we were with The Jinx.
Yep.
It's like premiere night. Like we're excited. Nothing else could make me happier, really.
I know. Other than 90 Day Fiance, I'm just like all on top of that shit.
You know, that's a you thing, but I love it for you. We're on a sick tangent on that one. So our dedication is real. We're here, and I've been excited for this episode. Tell us what the name is. It's on Netflix now, but this is an older case.
Yes. It's called What Jennifer Did.
What Jennifer Did.
So you know she did something.
Period. She's implicated from the jump. Jennifer's involved.
Yes.
All right. The story starts off with a murder. And this is in Canada, in Ontario. And the neighborhood is very suburban, upscale. There's not a lot of crime. This is very unheard of for this type of a place. Mm-hmm. There's 2 victims. They're both shot. There was someone who was in the house where these 2 victims were shot, who was able to call 911 and get help. This residence where this crime happened is the house of the Pan family. The mother and the father have been shot. The daughter, named Jennifer, who did something, we know that from the title, is able to call 911 for help. It's a crazy, chaotic scene. You hear the phone her on the phone with 911. She's screaming. You can hear stuff going on in the background.
And she tries calling for her dad and her mom.
Miraculously, her father is still alive in the hospital. They bring Jennifer in for questioning.
In a coma.
He is in a coma?
Yeah. They said, I think the bullet like hit his eye and then like traveled down.
Oh my God.
So miraculously, he's alive.
And the mom was pronounced dead on the scene, and that was from the gunshot wounds.
Yes.
Crazy. You said you had some red flags right off the rip.
I knew it. I just always know these things, dude.
You do be having that sense.
I do be having it. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't necessarily like it because I just come off like such a jaded ass bitch. But you know, I'm right like 99.9% of the time. She made the phone call to 911 and her story was that she was tied up, her hands behind her back, and her arm was tied to a banister of a staircase. She says she's tied up and that's why she can't go downstairs to help her parents or lock the door. But in my head, I'm like, bitch, you're on the fucking phone. Like, how are you making a phone call if your hands are tied up and your arm is tied to a banister? That comes back later, but that was
your first red flag?
That was my first, like,
in the initial interview.
Yeah, within like the first 10 minutes of the documentary.
Okay.
And I was like, that's
not adding up.
Not adding up. It's just weird.
My first thought and intuition, which we know now is way off, so don't listen to me or trust me. I'm scared that this is my thought process, but this is truly my initial reaction. First off, in the name, what Jennifer did, I'm thinking they're trying to do a little trickery. They're not going to say flat out like she did it. Like this is a trick, first off. What murder do you watch where they're like, oh, well, he was the killer? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. She's so meek. She looks so young. She's in her oversized hoodie. She's got her glasses, her little braid to the side. And she is presenting to me as someone who just experienced something horrendous. She is grieving. She's upset. She's very quiet, but she's giving articulate answers. And to me, it's not impossible. And weirder things have happened that are true. So I'm not convinced that she had anything to do with this. Just because I'm thinking they're doing the Uno Reverso.
The way that she like was during the interview though, like even that was giving me red flags. Like I thought her fucking tears were just so fake. Her little voice got so high and I'm just like, no, like this is no.
That's why I asked how old she was, because I thought she was like 17, 18. She's 24.
The way she was just acting during the interview, like, yeah, she was doing like the whole thing, but like I didn't see tears. I didn't see like swelling in her eyes. Like for me, if I knew my parents were getting murdered downstairs, like I wouldn't be audible. Like I wouldn't.
Full nonverbal.
Honestly, yeah. First of all, they're getting killed in front of you. And then second of all, like
your dad's in the hospital in a coma. You watched all of it. You were tied up.
Heard it all.
I'm with you. But people do react differently.
Yeah.
So I'm still in my head like, what did she do?
You think that the title
was
bullshit, and you think based off her initial interview that what her story is
I'm
true.
believing her.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm like, okay. I feel like the detectives did too, or they were just really good at kind of playing that, because even the victim advocate was featured in this documentary, and she was saying that she believed her, and all the signs are presenting. And again, like we know and we've heard that people do react differently because people are different. So if someone's not crying or doing this, like, yes, there are signs of deception, but ultimately every single person will act differently. Mm-hmm. Unless you're Jen Soto. Sorry.
Every time.
She gets no pass.
No.
And Jennifer, are we seeing a connection?
Yeah.
Don't name your kid Jennifer this year.
It's so funny too, because my dad dated this girl, Jennifer, and she was a stupid
Shout out.
When I was a kid.
Shout out, Jennifer.
You were a bitch.
Literally.
I hope you are living the shittiest life now. Thank you.
Cheers to her.
that. Cheers to Jennifer's.
This is more therapy for Meg. This is really what Meg needs.
This is just.
I don't even actually put these out publicly. I just do them for you.
I love it.
And trick so that you're like healing. And this is all just a big ruse.
I love that.
Yeah, for you.
It's a simulation.
Anything. Exactly. Like, nothing's even real anyway.
No.
So God bless America. We're talking about Jennifer's initial interview. You instant sus meter. I believe you because I don't have a reason not to at this time.
I think it was like her body language, her tone. Like, maybe I should just become a forensic behavior analyst, bro.
What did
like,
I tell you earlier?
why do I always see this shit? But yeah, like her.
You already have a biology degree.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, just the way she was acting, the way she was like presenting herself, her voice, her answers, the way she was like kind of like she was constantly looking down. She couldn't make eye contact. Just weird little things that I
thought that could also be a cultural thing.
Yeah, her parents did come from Vietnam.
Yes, they were immigrants and they had a very like quiet, normal life. They raised their 2 kids. They both had jobs. The mom goes dancing on Mondays. They have dinner together. But we find out through this interview process that they are very strict with Jennifer. They want the best for her. They want her to get a great education. They are so strict about piano. Her piano teacher said she was like a renowned pianist.
She was in figure skating too, and she wanted to be like an Olympic figure skater, but she tore a ligament or something, so that ended that. But her parents were always very, very strict on like what she could do. She couldn't go out. You know, her grades were very important. They wanted her to probably, stereotypical as it sounds, I think they wanted her to be a doctor. And so they always put all this pressure on her, and like she didn't have a social life, which is sad because like as a kid, you need that. Like you need balance. Like we want our kids to do great. We want them to succeed, sure. But they also need to do kid things. They need to have friends. They need to go out. She couldn't have the boyfriend that she had. And yeah, he was a piece of shit, but you know what? Let her learn that on her own.
Right. And let's remember she's 24. That's 6 years of being 18, being an adult. I believe they were overprotective, yes. But I also believe she didn't want to grow up because of the choices that are revealed later. Because she could have went to college. She could have gotten a job, a place, a this, a that. But she didn't. She lied. And she stayed under these controlling circumstances for 6 years as an adult. So that's where I'm a little bit conflicted.
Maybe she was felt that way because of her parents. Maybe she was like, you know, I have to take care of them. I mean, because I think she even says that in an interview. She's like, I wanted to stay. She's like, I could have left, but I didn't want to.
Right.
And she's like, I felt like I had to take care of my parents.
So why would I kill them? That was one of her like.
But maybe she felt like she had to stay for some, you know, weird reason like that.
Something's up.
Something's
up. We also learned that they both drive luxury vehicles. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, so this could be a targeted, random, weird thing. You see a lady, she's out dancing. She's leaving the dancing place. She's in a nice car. Maybe she had some drinks. I can follow her home, do whatever I'm going to do and try to get some money. And that escalated.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's not impossible.
Yeah.
Until we find out about Daniel, Jennifer's boyfriend, and the whole thing just flips on me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's her. I think it's him now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm just in like, it's not her.
Well, think about it too, because you could say it was him because the parents didn't want them to be together. I mean, so he could have felt some type of way about that as well.
In his interview, he's like the same kind of demeanor. Head down, glasses, meek, nervous, but not like I did something wrong. Just like I'm like a good kid and I don't want to deal with the police. I didn't get the vibe that he was bad.
Yeah.
Until they bring up his past. And I'm like, who are these people that I just watched for the first 30 minutes? Because no.
He was a drug dealer. And her parents knew that, which is crazy enough. And I think that was one of the reasons why they really didn't like him. I mean, obviously, but like.
Yeah. So whose parent is okay with that? So he's been convicted once, I believe, of trafficking substances. And it sounds like it's marijuana. I'm like insta red flag with Daniel. He's been convicted of this. And not to say that that's the worst crime in the world or that leads to violence, but the way he was presenting, looking, acting, being, didn't tell me you've had a drug charge. So I'm like, oh, there's more underneath that little innocent boy layer. And there definitely is.
Even if he's not like a full scale high end drug dealer, like slinging meth or heroin, I mean, even marijuana dealers, like
in 2010.
Yeah, they have targets on their back. I mean, even though it's just marijuana, they still know that these people have a lot of money usually on hand or product.
Or you owe somebody money.
Or you owe somebody.
And that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was possibly he's in over his head. Something happened. Or when he got busted, they took his supply. So he owes people money during that thing. Or he flipped, told on his plug, and this was a hit. This was somehow connected to that. Because that's making sense to me at this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible. Until we learn that's nowhere near what happened. We find out in her second interview, she comes in, same vibe. They're not really playing Mr. Nice Guy anymore. They're playing kind of bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
But not in a mean way. Just in like, hey, we need to get these facts straight because it's not really adding up to us. They tell her a couple lies. One of them being that the drones and the satellites can see through your house to see where bodies were positioned.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a lie.
Y'all are crazy.
I see
They
that
do
red
have
flag.
that technology, but they're not going to use it on some 24-year-old girl in Canada.
And in why the crime was happening for 10 minutes before she called 911, they didn't randomly have that going on.
No. That's like some SEAL Team 6 shit. Like we're finding Osama bin Laden.
100%. Yeah. They didn't even know she existed
You need to
until
fucking calm down.
she called 911.
I know,
Like, chill. I'm like, we could have thought of something else. Your phone was tapped. Like, we saw the text. Anyways,
she's dumb enough to believe that shit anyway, too, which is
they're
crazy
trying
enough.
the tricks, you know, but I do see those flags. I think everything's a scam. And I think you see like people's motives.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where we see differently.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, the title, I'm like, that's a scam. This is trickery.
But me, I'm like, okay. And then I see the title. I see how she's acting in that first interview. You know, just little things like that. I'm just like, no.
It's not it.
It's not it. It's not doing it for me.
What's the first thing that blew you away in that second interview?
Was the second interview is where they try to like make her pull out the phone? Yeah, I think that's what blew me away too. And she's so she tries to be so slick about how she does it. And they're like, so essentially she has her hands tied. She's able to grab the phone out of her back pocket because that's where she said it was. And that's easy. Like you got your hands tied behind your back. Yeah, I could probably slip out my phone out of a back pocket. But then she does this whole thing where she puts it over to her side because this arm again is tied to a banister.
I'm so tempted to do a live display
know,
right here because my banister's
I know
right
it's
here.
literally right there. But so she has it.
Use your words. Describe this for the audio listeners. So picture a staircase railing
with like a wooden banister, just one single staircase.
And it has the slats in between, and then the top and the bottom railing.
Yes.
So how she described it was her hands were behind her back, and then the rope was like in between the slats to tie her. So
yeah, her hands were tied behind her back with a rope, and then that was one. And then her upper arm, like by your shoulder, between like your shoulder and your elbow, like your fatty part, that was like tied to one of the vertical slats or whatever.
And
in the
she's
staircase.
seated on the ground.
And she's on the ground.
And this one's tied to that one?
Yes. Both of her hands are tied together. With also tied to the post. So there's two separate tie points. Her hands behind her back, that's one tie. And then this tied to
the post.
To the right arm tied to a post.
So essentially you're in handcuffs and then also your shoulders tied to the post.
Yes.
Okay. Sitting down.
Yes. Says she gets her phone out of her back pocket. She pulls it to her right side by maybe like the back of her upper butt cheek all the way to the right side by maybe your hip, but she pulls it all the way. And then she says she dials 911 without probably even being able to see the phone because it's behind your back. And then she says, they're like, okay, well, so when you were talking on the call, you were screaming into the phone then? She said, yes. And when you listen to that call, first of all, it does not sound like it's on speakerphone. It does not sound like she's yelling far away from the phone. And then,
Debatable.
right,
'Cause
in my opinion, I don't think it sounds like she's far away from the phone. But then she says something else that comes back and bites her in the ass later too. She tells the investigators that she was tied up upstairs.
Yeah.
Her hands were tied up upstairs behind her back, and then she was walked down the stairs and tied to the post and the banister of the staircase.
So she changes the story.
That was her story the whole time, but when it flips is when the dad comes out of the coma.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The dad has information.
Oh, okay. Pause.
And he never should have lived. If he wouldn't have lived, this would all never been figured out. Because you believe her. Everyone believes her at first.
Yeah. Okay, pause.
And that's when they start to get weird with the questions.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the phone. Literally, but hold on. I'm going back and forth now because I have Daniel in the picture. And I'm like, okay, well, this maybe is a Daniel situation. We know their relationship's rocky. They're broken up. He's kind of seeing a new chick and they're getting weird messages. And we'll touch on that. But phone and this, I'm like, red flag. That's not making sense. The detectives have Jennifer stand up and physically demonstrate this. And she is so anxious and just stops talking. And that's kind of the first time she isn't articulating well and really willing. And the detective's like, I know it's traumatic, but just do this from a clinical perspective so that we can really find out what happened here.
Yeah.
And so she eventually does it.
She gets real weird when they ask her to do this. She's like, right now, you can just see in her face, she's like, fuck.
So, and she's thinking, right? So she's pausing. So during this time, I'm like, oh my God, she did do it. She did do it. There's no way that she's going to be able to do this right now. You know, in PE, those physical fitness tests we used to do back in the day, they don't have them anymore because it's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, the one where you have to reach behind your back? I could only do that on one side. So I'm like, okay, maybe people can do this whole dialing the phone behind the back thing. I'm just unwell. I'm thinking she's guilty. Until she did the demonstration and did everything. She pulled the phone out. It makes sense. She's small, okay? Small people can put their arms behind their back and do shit. I'm thinking it's possible. I'm thinking it is actually possible to be tied, pull your phone out. You could say, hey, Siri, call 911, but this was 2010, so probably not.
Mm-mm.
But realistically, I feel like you could pull it out and do that and put it on speaker or turn the volume up.
But going to a phone, first of all, pulling out your phone.
What kind of phone was it?
Exactly. That's what we have to know. But you have to go to a whole separate screen to dial a number, and then you have to dial the number. There's no fucking buttons on phones still, probably at this point.
If we blindfolded you, could you dial 911?
No.
Behind your back?
No.
Really?
I really don't think I could.
I think we should try
because
it.
we
But
have
you
to
should
put
call 411.
Yeah, not 911.
Don't swat us. But that's too risky because what if you do?
What if I see? Yeah. We could try it 1, 2, 3 or something
on
weird.
the Patreon, we will do a live reenactment of the stairs with one of us tied up doing this. I swear.
Yes, I really want to.
It'll be our first
Because I'm telling
Patreon
you, there's
video.
no fucking way.
We need the scientific method.
Did you pop out your fucking joint, bitch?
People be doing
I
that
know,
though. That's what I'm saying. So she does this whole thing and I'm like, she's innocent.
I don't think it was good though. I still don't think her demonstration was. When she had it off to the side, I was just like, no way. There's no way that you can get this arm all the way. I mean, I can, but for it to function, I'm cramping right now.
She only needed one hand. She didn't need two hands. We're doing a demonstration, bitch.
Yeah.
I need to know what kind of phone. Was it a flip phone? Was it a touchscreen? Was it a BlackBerry? Did it have buttons?
Was there a passcode to get into the phone? It's just, I don't know. There's just so many things where I just don't find it plausible.
And while this whole commotion started, she was up in her room watching TV and on the phone.
That's what she said. We find out later.
You're telling me a guy rushes your house, 3 guys, and they rush in and you were able to put your phone in your back pocket and not get frisked, shakedown,
or not call the police, click 911.
Or you hear your mom screaming, you call 911. Yes, understandable. But still at this point, we don't know much about the parents. So I'm like, maybe the parents had something going on. And they didn't kill the daughter, but they were getting the revenge on the parents. Like, I just don't know. But after she did her performance of the phone Houdini, I really thought she was still innocent.
Damn, that got you?
Yeah.
I thought it was horrible.
Am I okay?
I don't know. Am I okay? I don't think either of us are okay.
This is why it's good, though, because if we're interrogating someone, we're getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they're innocent. You're like, bitch, no,
No,
they're
they're
not. I'm
not.
like, no, she could double
You
joint.
could be good cop. I'll
She
be
could
bad cop.
double joint her arm. She's fine. It's innocent.
I mean, if she was a figure skater, she is probably pretty nimble.
Triple axel with the thing of the pirouette above the head, over with the blade in their hand. That's what I'm saying.
With the tutus and everything, dog.
Nothing is impossible. Likely, no. Impossible, no.
I guess I could say that it's not impossible.
Maybe I was just in a good mood when I was watching this. I just don't like being bamboozled. And I was absolutely bamboozled because I didn't want to be, but I was. I got myself on that one. Do you think the investigators are believing her at this
I don't
time?
think so. I think at this point they were like, because that's the whole reason they had her do it. They were like, what the fuck? No way.
It's impossible.
No fucking way.
Is what they're saying.
Yeah.
But then she does it.
But I don't even think she does it because the way, like, when she goes to move the phone over to her back, her hands aren't really together. One's all weird. Like, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. If they really wanted a real demonstration, they really should have tied her ass up, dog.
Damn.
Because at this point, I think they were also trying to get the story because I think they knew the information about from the dad saying that she wasn't in her room when this started happening. So I think at this point, they knew that information as well.
Okay. Let's take a pause.
Let's take a little step back.
No.
Oh, we're taking like an actual break?
I need a sip and my lips are dry.
Okay.
So just like an actual
Just
little,
an actual
little pause.
Okay.
She said, how about a step back? I was like, okay.
I know. I thought we were going back
I'm
to
like,
the dad.
MIA.
I thought we were going back to the dad waking up.
I want to know what Jennifer's father has said now that he is out of the coma, able to talk. He remembers everything.
Yeah.
What's he saying? What is Han Pan saying?
Han Pan is saying that they were all sitting on the couch downstairs when the men came in. And Jennifer pretends to come downstairs before the men come in and she unlocks the door for them. So that's how they get in so easily.
She's sitting on the couch when they intrude.
Yes. And the parents are actually taken to the basement. Another red flag when the investigators like first started doing this case, they're like, why wasn't she taken with them? Why was she the only one left unharmed? Why was she the only one left upstairs? It's just like, it doesn't make sense.
What does Han say next?
The three men come in, they tie up the wife first, and then they basically like escort Jennifer to the stairs at that point, and they tie her up.
Are they pretending at that point in front of the parents that
Yes.
it's all acting right now?
They take the parents down to the basement, shoot them, and Jennifer is left. I don't know if she's actually tied up.
Did Han say that she was like walking around like normal with these guys and even like having a time, like having like a little like moment, like laughing essentially? Why I'm remembering something like that.
He does say that, but he says it that he felt that the people who came in, the three people, were friendly together. That they were laughing and saying stuff to each other.
The three intruders.
Which we find out later that they're all friends.
Okay, so that's where I'm remembering some sort of like they know each other laughing situation.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, why would three people who don't know each other do a home invasion?
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
She's innocent. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So we find out from Han, Jennifer's father, that her story is completely false. What happens? So he gets shot and then does he kind of not know from there what's going on?
He watches his wife die. He's shot and then he's taken out in critical condition. He was actually in a coma. So that's also why it took like a day or two for them to get this information, because he was actually in a coma.
And they thought they might not. We don't know who did it, but we know that Jennifer's version is not accurate.
And I don't think at this point he thinks necessarily that his daughter had anything to do with it. I just think he is like,
she's lying and
she's
she
lying.
unlocked the door.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know
No, he doesn't know.
the details.
Not yet.
What cracks this case? When does she come forward and say that she lied?
So the cops eventually they get Han's testimony, and then they're figuring out that she's lying about things. So they bring a what is he called? and some sort of maybe like a behavior analysis or like some sort of specialty in like mental.
So, like the mental.
Yeah, a behavioral analysis. I think.
Totally.
Yes.
We always forget that word here.
Yeah, whatever.
We're not all up here.
It's
So
okay.
it's fine.
It's fine. And he starts interrogating her. And then that's when like the cops are at this point are fed up. They're like, you know, we need to get answers. Like we need to find out what happened. And he is watching her body language. He's literally breaking down the story, watching for her lies, hearing different inflections in her voice, just all of it, right?
All of the things.
So he starts breaking her down. Like he's like, okay, well, if that happened, then how did this happen? Or
calling her shit.
Exactly.
Out. Like that doesn't make sense. You need to tell us what really happened.
Yep. And eventually she breaks down. She curls up into a physical ball in the chair. She's so just like distraught and broken down. And she says the same thing 3 times. And the cop in the room can't hear her. And the cops who are watching this can't hear her. And
I couldn't hear her.
Yeah, we can't hear it at all. Even the subtitles, it just says inaudibly whispering. But eventually she says it loud enough and they were supposed to kill me. So now her story is that the men that she hired and gave money to and had this whole plot with was supposed to be there to kill her because she didn't want to live anymore.
Okay, I got questions. First off, let's say it's true.
Yeah.
That went really wrong.
Yeah.
Mistaken identity was had × 2.
Yeah.
Second, what a dumb way to off yourself.
Do it in a field somewhere. Go take like a fucking
But no. We don't need
raft a grape or whatever the fuck. We shoot him in the back of the head while he's watching the sunset.
What did you just say?
Grapes of wrath. That's what it was. The when he kills his stupid brother because his stupid brother killed somebody.
Who?
In the book. It's a book.
Bitch.
You never read it in high school?
Bitch.
Okay, so it was about this dude and his dumb brother. And
Meg.
so her brother like ends up killing somebody on accident.
Why the fuck are you reading this in high school?
I don't know. I didn't make the curriculum. I'm in Brunswick, Ohio, ma'am. So anyway, like in order to like, I mean, something had to be done. So they like
Why?
go watch the sunset, and
Why?
he like shoots his brother. I don't know.
Why did something have to be done? What did he do?
I feel like I'm fucking this up.
This is the worst synopsis
ever
of a fucking book. And I think you're lying.
I'm not.
There's no way they made you read that.
I'm not, though. I wish I was.
There's no way they made you read that.
They totally did.
For what? A book report? I gotta read this. What's it called?
Grapes of Wrath. There's a movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is in it. He plays the stupid brother.
Why the fuck is every book you read in high school, Leonardo DiCaprio plays in the movie, in the feature Romeo and Juliet? One of the best movies of all fucking time, directed by Baz Luhrmann. Literally, like, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm. Moulin Rouge is another one of my favorites by him.
Classic.
But anyway, the whole point is he tells the brother, like, you know, walk off and go see the sunset, right? And then poof, back of the head. Like, why couldn't she just go get off that way?
Did the brother want to die?
No.
So there's murder.
Yeah. So it's solving a murder with another murder of somebody who doesn't have the mental capacity to probably realize that they did something wrong.
So there's plenty of ways.
This episode's so unhinged.
I feel great.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways.
There's plenty of ways.
Why did you have him come to your house? You know what I mean?
We don't have to go into them, okay? Trigger motherfucking warning. There's so many ways.
Yes.
If that's a choosing of a person. And this is her new story. But paying $2,000 to someone named Homeboy
it was actually 10 grand. The plot was 10 grand. Prior to this happening, months back, she tried to give someone $2,000 to kill her dad. And that was something that was something separate. And then
10 months previous.
Yes, like something like that. And then she made this new plot with her
Homeboy is his name. We're not saying Homeboy. Literally, he's referred to as
literally called
Homeboy.
And then her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend.
Whoa. You're giving away the plot. You're giving away the end. But she was going to pay, I thought she was going to pay this person, Homeboy, $2,000 to execute her.
10 grand.
10. Okay.
$2,000 was like months ago to another person, and she wanted that person to just kill her dad.
Got it. Makes my point even more insane.
The intent is
You're going to pay someone $10,000 who you don't know.
Maybe you should have just not lied about going to college. Maybe you should have just went.
Yeah. So we find out, if you want to touch on that, how deep this web has spun. And that gets us to the end. And we find out what actually happened and what Jennifer actually did do.
So she lied to her parents about being in college the whole time. She would literally like get books and just do psycho shit, like, and just created this whole elaborate lie about how she went to college, and she would fake report cards even and give herself like better grades. Just crazy.
And she wasn't in
shit.
school at all.
She was not in school at all.
And she did a fake degree, right? Like on the wall.
Yeah.
And then
Crazy.
So she's 24. So she's been graduated for 2 years and she couldn't get a job this whole time. And I remember the family members saying, like, the mom was so worried, like, my daughter, she has her degree, she graduated and she can't find a job.
Lies. Like, just
the plot thickens, right? And the motive thickens.
Yeah. So,
and we see.
And then there was intent. Like, she tried this before. She tried to hire somebody to kill her family member prior.
She wanted to be with Daniel more than anything. And the parents would never. And Daniel says in his interview, I couldn't be with somebody whose parents didn't accept me. Valid point. So I'm assuming, maybe allegedly this is what Jennifer's thinking. We eliminate my parents and then me and Daniel can be together. There's the motive. But then again, I get so twisted around with what comes forward. So during that interview, she ends up saying story number 2, which was it was a mistake. They were supposed to unalive me. So how does the true story come out?
I think that's when they start to look at her, and then they look at all the text messages, and then the text messages reveal it all. Reveal that she's been plotting this, reveal that Daniel is involved and possibly did it for wanting the money that she was going to get after her parents died. Because she said that she was going to pay $10,000 for them to die. To homeboy. And she was going to get $500,000
from the life insurance. So the
and
money
and the property and the house.
The motive is the money and the freedom.
Daniel money, her money and freedom, I feel like.
Which has me so screwed up with the Daniel situation, because you would think a Gypsy Rose situation. 2 lovers want to be together. The controlling parent, they have to do something so they can be together. Daniel's like, I'm in love with this other girl. I don't want to be with you, but I'm still down to go through with this unaliving for hire? What the fuck? So he's just a psycho? I
mean, he didn't have anything to do with it in terms of like him going to the house and committing the murder and committing the burglary.
The actual
act. But he was the one that got her in touch with homeboy, which is
he
when
set it all up.
He set it all up. It was all of his friends.
And then he was like almost convincing her to go through with it, because in the text messages, Daniel says to Jennifer, you wanted this for you, not because we're going to be together. You said you wanted this. And then I've always been on eggshells around you. She wanted to call it off, told him to tell homeboy to call it off. And he said, you are flaky, essentially. You contact him. Because now Daniel's deep in it. You can't call the guy and be like, no, like, I'm taking it back. I mean, you totally could. You should have done that. But why the fuck does Daniel want his ex-girlfriend's parents dead when he's in love with another bitch?
Crazy. Money. And it's not even like it's that much money. $500,000. Bitch, it's going to be gone in like 3 years at this rate. The fuck?
A mortgage?
It's not even that much money.
Taxes? The debt that she may have accrued from God knows what student loans she did or didn't go get.
Yeah.
And 3 people. So who are the 3 intruders then? It's homeboy.
And then 2 friends.
2 accomplices?
Yeah.
So they were all getting paid? Man, they brought in way too many people for that. Like, come on.
And only $10,000 split 3 ways?
This was the plot they came up with?
No.
This was dumb.
Dumb.
Have you ever watched Dateline?
But again, they wouldn't have gotten caught if it weren't for the dad. Like, it's not that dumb because they almost got away with it. They really did. Those cops believed her initially.
I'm just saying.
And if that dad hadn't woke up and remembered any of that shit, done. The case is cold. Like, in the water.
The biggest plot twist for this whole thing was a roller coaster of emotions for me.
Yeah.
The innocence. She probably did it. To, oh no, she can't pull the phone out from behind her back. To, then you have a drug dealer boyfriend who has a criminal charge. And then you find out the parents can't be together. And then I'm just like, the back and forth and the edge of my seat was just so much for me.
I know.
And to find out Daniel was involved for nothing. That's not even his girl. He's just the in-between middleman of a hitman.
And then after Jennifer was sending all these crazy texts to him too, and the girlfriend, she was like sending like bang bang and like, we're watching you.
We have to talk about that. During the interrogations, Daniel reveals that he's been getting weird text messages. And so had Jennifer. And these were like obsessive, stalking, like multiple a day from weird phone numbers, saying the weirdest shit. And this had been going on for how long? Like a week?
Yeah, as long as I think he was dating that other chick.
They only been dating a week?
Yeah. It was like new because they had like just broken up before this all happened. Oh. And they were actually technically broken up when they were setting this stuff up.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is also just
is also fucking insane.
Daniel, what are you doing?
What are we
doing?
I'm
so fucking confused.
500. He's going to take that $500,000 and go take his new girlfriend on a vacation.
No. Oh, but okay. I do have a theory, and I know you have a theory. But the text, they were saying stuff like bang, bang. They were saying stuff like, what are you doing here? Like,
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you. And they're both getting these harassment, a variety assortment of texts.
The girlfriend of the new girlfriend and then Daniel were getting them.
And Jennifer.
No.
Yes.
Was she?
Yes.
Oh, so she was sending them to herself?
That's why I was confused.
That's wild.
Who was sending all those texts?
It was her, though. They literally say it was her.
Okay, so it was her, probably from a burner or another number.
She had a different SIM card.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's texting it to herself to make it look like all these people are getting harassed?
I think so.
What was the point of that?
I don't know, man.
Because why would her parents be dead if her ex-boyfriend and the new girlfriend are getting texts? How does that? They're dumb. They're just dumb.
Yeah.
There's no reasoning. There's no rationality to what they were doing. They're just dumb. And what's her motive? Because he doesn't want her. So why kill your parents?
Literally just for the money then.
I have a theory. She thought she could always get stuff to work out with Daniel. And she played it along like, I want this done either way, with or without you, if we're together or not. I still want this done. But the journal comes out how much she doesn't like the parents, but Daniel, hearts, stars. And I think in her delusion, and after 6 years of being with this guy, she's seen some ups and downs, but I truly believe that she thought she could be with him if they were gone. Plot twist. And here's my other theory. Say that she did want to unalive herself. Or she was just done. I'm a disappointment. I can't have the man that I want. I'm done. What if she sets this whole thing up for Daniel to get involved? Her parents are now dead. And he's in jail forever. And she's in jail forever. Or she's dead. Whatever. Because if she can't have him,
no one can.
Nobody can.
That would be crazy. I mean, but
I'm just saying.
I thought of that too, but just in more of a way of like just setting him up while she stays out, while she's like doing her thing free. Like, fuck you, you're in jail. I thought about that, just setting him up. Like,
oh, like playing along, like help me get this hitman, and then flip the script and be like, it was him for pure payback. Yes, but I do think she wanted to be with him more than anything. They didn't think it through, or they overthought it. Yeah. So needless to say, Jennifer did it.
Mm-hmm.
And all 3 or 4 were arrested. 5 were arrested because there was 3 intruders. There was Daniel setting it up and Jennifer, the one who wanted it. So they were all arrested.
All sentenced to life without parole for 25 years. So they can get parole after 25 years. But currently they're actually all appealing it, and they've all gotten granted appeals. So they're going to be going, every single one of them got granted their appeal.
Fucking way.
I think they're trying to go off something that the jury was like influenced by some illegal means.
Some corruption.
The appeal cases are supposed to be either end of this year or next year.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. She's 37 years old now.
Crazy.
Her picture's crazy.
She's older than us.
Yeah.
Which is just so weird because she was so young and looked even younger.
Her dad got a no contact order for life. She cannot contact him or anyone in the family.
Do you think he'll ever visit her or write her?
Fuck no.
He's done.
I mean, if he did the no contact order, I think technically he breaks it too if he contacts her.
Understandable, but why are they making this documentary now? Because her thing's coming up?
Probably because of the cases, or the court cases,
More to be revealed.
I know. Shit gets crazy.
We could have a murder among us because of the legal system. Well, she's in Canada, actually. I don't know how the crown works up there, but...
Oh, well, I don't think she will be able to cross the border with her
absolutely
charges,
not.
So we're fine.
She could flee.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Anything.
When you're a suspect.
Yes.
Or a felon at this point.
Yes.
Convicted felon. Do they still have the same like felon in Canada?
I don't know.
I feel like we've been talking about a lot of Canadian cases, so I'm gonna educate myself a little bit on how their courts work up
the
up
parliament.
north.
I don't even fucking know.
Bitch, you like lived there
in Canada?
Yeah.
When?
2 months ago.
Oh, that's Seattle. But okay, yeah. I didn't live there though.
How far is the drive?
I think it was like 2.5 hours to like Vancouver, Canada from Seattle.
Is that the capital?
It's like right across the border. Yeah, like right there.
Yeah. You should know more than me.
I don't.
Okay. And that's on education in America.
Yeah, like I said.
And the fucking books you had to read growing
Brunswick, Ohio.
God bless
Good old
America.
Brunstucky. God bless.
You,
the troops.
You did not compute.
I was just like, wait, what?
God
bless
God
the troops.
bless it all.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of It's Giving Sus. You can watch the story we talked about on Netflix. It's short but sweet.
It's like an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, we love it a little.
We've been doing these 6-part stories. Like, I live a little hour, I have the resolution. I get the suspense.
Nice little bow, ties it all up.
Plot twist. Mwah. We love it.
Yes.
We love it.
Yes, we love finality. Not like dead people finality, but...
We love finality.
Oh my God.
And with that, until next time, stay curious and stay skeptical. Thanks for watching.
Bye.